Anybody here not geared up?
I'm Kassy Dillion with the Daily Wire, and right now I'm in Kfar, Gaza. This is one of the kibbutzim that were attacked by Hamas on October 7th. We're here with residents walking us around, showing us the destruction, and while we're here, we can still hear mortar fire going from Israel into Gaza, and there are rockets as well being shot this way from Gaza.
It's very important for us as the Israeli people that you have come here to see the atrocities in your own eyes. The Hamas terrorists came into Israel with one goal: to kill Jews. This is not a liberation organization. These are not people fighting for their own freedom. We are talking about beheadings. We are talking about burning people alive. We are talking about mutilating people in their own homes. We are talking about women that were taken to be sexually molested. We are talking about babies that were burnt alive in front of their parents and parents that were burned in front of their children. And as we say here right now, we have dozens of children, including from this kibbutz, being kept captive by the local version of ISIS.
Behind me is a home in Kfar, Gaza that's just been completely destroyed during Hamas's brutal October 7th attack. You can see it's just completely burnt. There's debris, bullet holes. We'll go inside. 1 month ago, a family was living in here, and now there's nothing to return to. It is completely decimated. You can see back here, this is a bedroom. Oh my gosh. There's blood still on the walls. You can see right here, blood. Complete horror in this home. This looks like a teenage girl's room, and look at her laptop, look at the blood. She's on her bed. This is where she had safety. I'm standing in blood right now.
On October 7, we were awakened at about 6:30 or 6:40 in the morning from the rocket alert. We ran to the protected room. We waited until we heard the rockets falling, the explosions. Then I went outside and started hearing gunshots from assault rifles from every direction. We went back inside the house. I told my wife and children to go back into the protected room. We locked all the doors on the windows. And we started getting text messages that there are terrorists inside the kibbutz. And we turned off the lights, the TV, the air conditioning, everything. You know, it's still the end of the Israeli summer, so it was very hot. And we were there for the next 20 plus hours inside the protected room. And we were just, hearing the gunshots and the explosions getting closer to us every minute and every hour until they finally came to our street. And they were inside our neighbor's house. Our house is one of the last houses here in the kibbutz, so we were saved for the great finale, I think. There were combats inside the houses of our neighbors. Every person died here is my friend because it's a small community, it's a small village, we all live together and grow our children together, so we know everybody.
This is a neighborhood of young families in Kfar, Gaza, and speaking to the IDF, they believe that nobody survived here. And you can see why. There's definitely been grenades here, houses burnt. You can see the doors being broken into. You can still hear the war going on. Complete horror.
From what I understand, I don't think anybody has survived from this street right here. Each one of these houses was attacked. Most of them inside or out. Like this house across from us and this house right here was burnt. Incendiary bombs, incendiary grenades were sent in. Some of those grenades, I've been told, when they lob them in, they're on a little bit of a timer. And when they do go off, flash 3,000 degrees Celsius. That's crazy. Terrorists came in from right over there across the border, came over here. I've got a family, I've got kids. Every time I come to one of these communities, I think about that.
And I just want to remind everyone, this is a civilian village. This is not a military base. This is where civilians live peacefully on the border. And a lot of them are displaced right now. Some of them may try to come back and rebuild. And a lot of them are in Gaza right now as hostages.
I'm a volunteer in Zaka, and I'm here from day one. I was called down to respond right away as a Zaka member. And we're dealing with things that we never thought we could ever see things like that. I'm a father and a grandfather. And to see kids butchered in ways that you can't believe that a human being could do stuff like that. Is something that you're in shock. I have four daughters, and we had a story that we came into a house and we had a woman leaning on her bed, and she was half naked from her stomach down, and she was shot from behind her head. And people ask me, was she raped? Wasn't she raped? That's not my job. But when you see a woman laying on her bed, on her stomach, and when you turn her over, she's holding a live grenade in her hand, you understand that something happened over there. And that's not the story that I need to check to see. But what I saw with my own eyes keeps me up and does not let me walk away from here until we make sure that everybody gets its burial, and everybody, all the bones that we find over here will find their families and they'll be able to get to burial. One story that I dealt personally, I have the pictures holding the baby with the knife through his head. That was after we found that body under a pile of cement, burned. As the truck driver of Zaka, I collected from every place bodies and bodies.
How many bodies did you see?
Well, the first night I took over 70 bodies in my truck, and it didn't stop for at least 3 days. Again, every time, coming and going, coming and going.
Now, there's some people who are saying that these atrocities didn't happen or wasn't so bad. What do you want to say to those people?
Well, I invite them to come for one day, for a few hours, just to walk around with me, to see the situation, and to smell the smells, and to feel, and to help me clean up one house, and then we'll see if they don't believe. It's like saying to a Holocaust survivor, nothing happened. This happened, and the world should understand. It happened here in our houses.
Terrorists came over the border, came into this kibbutz, and just destroyed it. Cars are completely decimated, as you can see over here. And there's homes that are completely burnt down, and shrapnel and bullet casings everywhere. It's awful. It's one of the worst things I have ever seen.